Hi, I'm Ginny Robertson, founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine and founder of the On Purpose Woman global community. I'm here with Dr. Dora Vilk-Shapiro for a Writer in the Spotlight interview, where I chat with the contributing writers for the current issue of On Purpose Woman magazine. Dora, thank you for being here with me. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, Ginny. It's my pleasure.
Well, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself to get started.
Okay, I'm originally from Cuba. My name's Dr. Dora Vilk-Shapiro. I've been a retired family and cosmetic dentist. I was in practice for about 29 years, taught hygiene, taught dentistry. And then I had some health issues, which kind of pivoted my life. And I became an author, but just because I like to read and write. And I really write from two opposite spectrums.
Yes, you do.
I have a series of what I call my naughty books, and they are, I would say, slightly erotic romance thrillers. And I write those under the name Doris Vilk, so a little bit different name. And then I put on my real Dora hat, and with my daughter-in-law, and I guess to celebrate my grand dog, Rupert, we wrote this children's book together about when Rupert was adopted. He's a rescue animal, and he's 3 years old now, but the children's book is all about Rupert's Gotcha Day, and that's my other pivot. And I love to write, and I wrote for the On Purpose Woman's magazine.
Well, thank you for that. And anyone watching, I did put the links to both Dora's series. It's a trilogy of books, and it's called the Chatham Series, which she calls her naughty novels, right? And they're really spicy, but they're written from a woman's perspective, which is very different than I think when men write that kind of like erotica or whatever you want to somewhat.
And even a lot of erotic romance books are written more from the male's perspective, like 50 Shades of Grey or Sylvia Day. It's more about him, whereas mine tend to be more centered around her.
Yeah, well, you got this heroine in there. So and then you can also see the link to the Rupert's Best Day book about when Rupert, her grandpup, got adopted, and Rupert's adorable. Your granddaughters, everybody's so adorable in your pictures. And so congratulations on those two really interesting kind of aspects of what you do. I think it's really fun and exciting.
I always say I like to make people smile, and now I found two different ways to make them smile.
Well, you make people smile just smiling, Dora. I mean, you've got the most exuberant personality and beautiful smile. So you don't have to work too hard to do that, but I appreciate that you want to do it for some other venues. But let's talk about your article. Your article in the July-August issue is called Up in the Clouds. And let me just also tell our viewers that the link below Dora's books, there also is a link to the On Purpose Woman magazine. You can find Dora's article there. And please share where you were, because this article is full of musings about humanity and how we treat one another. And apparently these just started coming to you while you were doing something. What were you doing?
Oh my goodness. Well, I was on a flight on Kenya Air going on safari with a group of people that and women I've known from another women's business group I used to be in here in South Florida. And we were on our way to safari in Africa, and just a flight from JFK, New York to Africa was, I think, like 15, one way was like 13 and a half hours. One way was like 15 hours. And I've always been very inspired to write when I'm up in the sky. It's almost like the higher I am, the more inspiration that I get. And so, when I went to Africa, this was in May, and this was when all this stuff was really going on here in the United States and abroad. The war in Ukraine, the things, mass shootings, well, I live in South Florida, and I know a lot of you, the women in On Purpose, are from Maryland, but South Florida, every day there's shootings. Like, we have people can carry guns now. They just said you don't even need permits to carry the guns. I mean, it's just like the Wild Wild West. And I had all that stuff in my mind. And yet here I was in the sky, how you have that hum of the plane. And I looked at how beautiful our planet looks from the sky. And I don't know why, I was just very inspired of that. I'm seeing all this beauty, and yet I'm aware of what's underneath the clouds, what's going on in the ground. And so that's really when I wrote it. But being on safari in Africa just changed my life totally. And I'll let you ask me whatever questions you want on that. So it was on the flight back that I pulled that article back up that I had written, and I looked at my words and I saw them in a whole different way at that point, because I had seen how things were in nature, like without the human contamination. And then I also saw how things were and how blessed we really are here in the United States compared to what humans and animals and just the way our world, what we're facing in different places. And it just helped me edit it and just solidified it all for me. Yeah. And that's when I, kind of polished it up and I put it on my page. And then I was thinking of On Purpose women, like the kind of articles I read and enjoy. And I thought, you know what, let me reach out to Ginny, or I don't remember if you reached out to me, like somewhere along the way, I'm like, this is good. Like, I need more people to read this,
You did reach out to me, but I had made a note because I'd seen it on your page, and I had made a note to reach out to you because I thought it was a perfect fit for the On Purpose Woman magazine. So, the Great Minds thing, we were in sync on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to read a little bit about what you wrote, and then we'll talk more.
Okay.
Among the fluffy puffs, it seems incomprehensible what happens down below. How has the love, joy, and peace above been lost on so many governments and souls? You then touch on what you see as some of the woes of humanity, things like crime, road rage, poverty, equal rights, domestic violence, gun violence, bullying, undiagnosed and untreated mental illness, and war. And it's a heavy list, and one that could have us like feeling hopeless, right? However, you end by writing, up in the clouds, it's crisp and clear, and the engagement is pure, peace and beauty and hope. May we choose to believe that just above us is that perfect sky, full of the sun and moon and stars and love everlasting. May we all find the peace that we feel when up in the clouds. And you then leave your readers with this question: how will you choose to be on the ground? There's a lot there. So let's talk about the hope for humanity, about how we can find more peace here now. And let's start with this idea of Ho'onoponopono. Did I say it right? Ho'onoponopono. I'm familiar with that, but a lot of our viewers might not be. So what does that mean? Where did it come from?
So Ho'onopono, it's an ancient Hawaiian prayer. And interesting that we're doing this interview now when we I've been saying it almost nonstop for the people of Maui. But so the ancient Hawaiians believed that every soul was responsible for every other soul. And that everything we experience is really our own memories, and that our cells and our DNAs have the memory of all our ancestors, way back to, all of humanity. And so they believed that we were here to atone and to ask for forgiveness, and that we are responsible for everybody. And when you think about it, a lot of religions have that as their focus, not just the ancient Hawaiians, you know, the Judeo-Christian, a lot of the Buddhists, a lot of religions kind of incorporate that.
Yeah, especially in their purest form, they do, right?
Yes. And so Ho'oponopono basically says, like, if I was doing, they call it clearing or cleaning, as opposed to saying I'm going to pray, we say we're going to clean and clear for something. So let's say I was doing it for Maui. I'll use that as the example. I would say, for whatever memories are in me on any and all levels that I am to atone for, that are the reason or cause why these fires had to happen and spread, and there had to be so much suffering in Maui. And then I would just say, I'm sorry. I'm atoning. So I'm saying, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, because we're all personally responsible. And then I say thank you, to have gratitude for the blessings we do have, and to have love, because love is everything. So, and I love you. So Ho'oponopono is really just 4 lines, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, in any order. It doesn't matter. It's you are taking a part of responsibility for your part in it, and trying to clean and clear and pray for it. And
I
so
love it. Yeah.
So when I wrote that article, and you think of, you know, I am not Superman or Wonder Woman. I can't like charge into and prevent a mass shooting, or prevent these fires in Maui, or, somebody getting sick with cancer, or any of the things that, you know, my article, I really thought of all these things that were weighing and resonating very heavy on me, on what's been going on in our world. But I can feel like I can put kindness into the world. I can put forgiveness into the world. I can put compassion. I can put love, and I can use this Ho'oponopono practice, which is really just like, whether you're a prayer, or you pray and you do this, whatever, you know, you feel resonates with you, is something that we can each do to try to make our world better. You know, and to reach that energy that is right above us. It's always there. It's still there, that beautiful sky. All you have to do is take the airplane, and especially living in South Florida, where we have these terrible thunderstorms and things, and then you just get above that, and it's just gorgeous.
Everything's fine.
And you just see that from up there, you don't see any of the heartache.
So I think this is similar. This reminds me a little bit of also this idea that we are responsible for the energy we bring into any space.
Yes.
I read about a woman who was suffering with a terminal illness, she thought. And one of the things that she put up in her hospital room was, be responsible for the energy you bring into my space. And the doctors and the nurses started noticing that and paying attention to that, rather than talking about, oh, this is, you know, and she started to recover from this illness. And so on even a tiny level, somebody may be watching this and go, oh God, but it's this big stuff. It's like, on a tiny level, what if we just use those 4 lines in our primary relationship when we're feeling like somebody wronged us, or we just don't want to communicate in a kind way? If we just say it to ourselves, we don't have to say it to the other person. We say it to ourselves.
Yes.
And that shifts the outside, doesn't it?
Yeah. Even if like someone cuts me off in the road, or, you know, does something stupid, or, and you feel yourself getting angry, I go, no, I say Ho'oponopono for them. I don't know their story. I don't know if they're rushing to, we always tend to judge and critique, but we don't really know, do we? And, maybe that person just got terrible news and they're all distracted, or they're rushing to the hospital, or we have no idea. And so, but we can say Ho'oponopono for them. And in saying it for them, you're really saying it for yourself, and you feel automatically better, and you're able to just let go, and you're taking that good energy, like you said about your space, in saying Ho'oponopono as you're going someplace. You can bring that nice energy to wherever you're going. And I found the more I'm doing it, that things are changing for the better around me. Just because as I'm changing that energy around me. And if more and more of us chose to do that, our world could change. Why not? The beauty is out there, and Ho'oponopono really believes in self-identity through the I, and the I really stands for divinity, whatever divine being or you believe in. So what you're really doing in saying the Ho'oponopono is just initiating that. What you're really doing, that's why I say it's a form of prayer, in that you're hoping divine intelligence, whatever you believe that to be, will take these energies and transmute them for the better.
Yeah. And what a gift it is to us to do that, because we can get I'll speak personally, I can sometimes get so wrapped up in little tiny petty grievances, like somebody cuts you off. I mean, sometimes it can be dangerous, but then your heart's beating fast, but also the anger sets in, or you say stupid things, you want to make a gesture with your hands. We hold on to that. We take it with us to our next place. We bring it home with us. And that's just a tiny example of those things that we do. Somebody's child is screaming in the grocery store. The thought might be, well, oh gosh, why don't they teach their kids how to act? We have no idea what's going on with that child or that parent. And to just say that silently for them, I think it can shift the whole energy around them as well. And it's so simple to do.
It's very
hopeful. I think it's very hopeful. So is there any other way? I'd love one more example of how you might use this out there in the world or at home,
Oh, geez, you can use it for anything, any problem or issue you're having, or limitation in your business, or your world is changing, or you're looking just for clarity, and you're just not sure. You can just go into that space and just say, for whatever is in me that I'm to atone for, that's responsible for why I'm facing limitations in my business, why my books aren't selling, or why people don't enjoy them, or why people don't leave a review. Whatever you're needing, you could say, you know what, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you just feel better, and you let it go. You're letting it go. You're releasing. And in that release, just like when I'm on that airplane and I'm sitting in the seat, and basically I have to release. I'm not driving the airplane. I'm not doing any of it. I'm just in the seat, buckled, just releasing and trusting of where I'm going to be. And, for me, just going to Africa and seeing, little things like, I turn on my tap and I'm like, I have water and it's clean and I could drink it if I want. Like, they don't have that. Or I go to my granddaughters and I get to play with all her little toys or buy her toys, and I see, the kids in the street with no shoes and, playing with a stick or anything round as a ball. And we take so much, one of my favorite movies is with Cher and Moonstruck with Nicolas Cage and Cher. It's such an oldie but goodie. And there's that scene where Cher's character slaps Nicolas Cage's character and says, "Snap out of it." When I came back from Africa, I wanted to go to every American and say, "Snap out of it. We're so friggin' lucky. We have so much." And yet we're always complaining about something. And I'm like, it just made me realize, like, just have gratitude, just bring in more of just use that law of attraction, bring in gratitude for all we have. We're so blessed.
Yeah.
And just like we're up in those clouds, we can focus on all, the news wants to like put us in the muck of the soup, but we don't have to do that. We can be in the china bowl serving the delicious soup. We don't have to picture it all mucked up and burnt.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can bring us to a state of grace, which is really, I think, where I need to be to function in the world like that. I can't be kind if I'm turned up inside and feeling very worried about my life or myself. Yes. And so many of the things that we are concerned about are things that we think might happen, or they're in the big scope of things. They're very small. And so I think that you've given everyone something to you've given them an action step of something they can actually incorporate if they're drawn to doing that. Yeah. And just, that's what it feels like when you do it.
Down. Yeah. It's like just breathing.
Just breathing. Yeah.
Just breathing. And there's all kinds of resources out there. There's books. I, for myself, joined a Ho'oponopono group, and there's several of them around. And my mentor for it is Eileen Gottlieb, but there's a lot of people out there, and if it's something that you're interested in, or even if anybody in On Purpose Women wants to know more, my number and my emails and all that are in my directory, and I can hook them up with more information if that's something they'd like to pursue, whatever for them.
And I'm going to attempt to spell it here. I think I've got it spelled out right here. It's H-O and then an accent mark.
Yes.
O-N-O-P-O-N-O-P-O-N-O. Ho'oponopono. That's how you say it in American.
Yes.
Well, Dora, gosh, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your absolutely huge heart, both in the magazine and here with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I want to thank anyone watching this also, either this live or the replay on our YouTube channel. Again, to read Dora's article, as well as other inspiration for your mind, body, spirit, and business, visit our website, opwgc.com. And the website link to the magazine is also in the text of this video. Again, thanks for watching, everyone.